Yo, did you go to the Impressions Expo in Long Beach? Let's talk about it.
Big Sife.
Fat Man Scoop, Brooklyn Clan. What's up, y'all? This is Fat Man Scoop. And right now, you watching the sensei, the #1, the king, my dude, Big Brando. He taught me, personally, me, Fat Man Scoop. All you gotta do is keep your mouth closed and your ears open. Listen to the man talk. That's knowledge personified right there, and I wouldn't trust nobody else but my dude, Big Brando. And I said it. Fat Man Scoop, Big Brando, let's go!
What's happening, everybody? Boy Big Brando, and today let's talk about the Impressions Expo that went down in Long Beach. Now, this is just going to be my brief recap on this thing. I'm pretty sure you've seen a lot of other content creators posting videos, posting stories. I was reposting a lot of people's stuff on my Instagram page. I just want to give my take on this show. Now, outside of that, there was a lot of people in my Instagram comments asking about the show, if it's worth attending for them, what I think about the show, how to register for the show, and can anybody go to the show. So if you guys want to see more videos like that, let me know in the comments, and maybe I'll break down the Impressions Expo or ISS Expo on like what my strategy is when I go out to these shows, the benefits of going to these shows, how to register, when to register, and all that good stuff. Let me know in the comments if you want some action like that. Now, outside of all that, I've been going to this show for years, way before I got onto YouTube, and man, has this show changed since then. Long time ago, when I started going, it was invite only, meaning there was somebody that already had to be attending. They had to send you the invite, and then that's how you register. So I used to go on behalf of 110 South Streetwear. The homie Raw Tunes put me on, sent me the invite, and then I've been going ever since. Now registration is open for everybody, but back then the main thing you would see at this show is blank garments, but then also it was just filled with screen printers. A lot of people doing manual screen printing, a lot of people with the automatic screen print setups, people selling inks, people selling screens. That's mainly what this show was about. Embroidery was in there, screen printing was in there, and a little bit of vinyl at the time. Heat pressing really wasn't what it is today. DTG wasn't at these shows back then. DTF for sure wasn't at these shows back then. Sublimation was around, but it was like the big sublimation. Not the consumer size sublimation, but like the really big plotter printers, the really big heat presses for like the all over print or doing like big spools of fabric, that kind of stuff. Now this show looks like a mini complex con. It's crazy. The booths are fully built out like crazy. Every booth has some kind of interactive thing going on in there. A lot different. And what I noticed, and speaking with a few other people, is DTF was in overabundance at this show. Like every single row had a few different people selling DTF printers. Big commercial size ones, smaller ones. It was crazy. And I remember seeing this boom long time ago when DTG first started to hit the scene, and there was a lot of people selling DTG printers, printing samples, showing people the technology, how it worked, and all that good stuff. It is fair to say that DTF is here and living well within this space now. And screen printing was still there, but it was very, very minimal. They had the big guys with the big auto presses, but not as many as there usually is. So for myself, when I went to this show, I had no obligations. I wasn't going for any company. I wasn't standing in anybody's booth. I wasn't doing any meet and greets. I wasn't doing nothing. I went there to drink beer and hang out with the people, and that's exactly what I did. Every time I go to these shows, I go with a little bit of game plan in mind because I do want to do my research. I do want to do my homework on certain things. So I got there early, and I try to go make my connections early on. One of the first things that I wanted to see was AS Color. If you guys know, I use AS Color blanks now. No longer use All Style since they switched over to American Apparel. Then it made it hard to find the same shirts that I wanted to use. So I decided to not use All Style or American Apparel t-shirts no more. I use AS Color now. I like the fit, I like the feel, and I like that they are located here in Carson, close to me. Well, anyways, they dropped a new baseball jersey, and I seen the pictures online. I seen pictures through email, but I wanted to see what it felt like in person. So I went directly to the AS Color booth so I could check out that baseball jersey. It was cool because they had a black one, and one of the homies that was standing in the booth was wearing the bone color one. That was the one I was really interested in seeing because through pictures, it looks white. Sometimes it looked tan. I wanted to see what it actually looked like. And it had that white, beige, light tan kind of color to it. Really dope. Something that I want to offer this year. So I got a good chance to look at it, feel it, check it out. So after I did that, I wanted to go check out the independent booth because I wanted to look at some of the new color offerings they have for their heavyweight hoodie. There's a lot of people that use independent. There's a lot of people that don't like independent. For me, it's the color offerings. They had all these new fall type colors like browns and tans and stuff like that. So I wanted to go check them out live in person, touch them, feel them. And the colors did not disappoint. Now, the the last thing on my list was to go find some like faded looking t-shirts. A lot of clients of mine been hitting me up asking what is the best faded vintage looking t-shirt to use. I don't use those types of t-shirts. So a trade show like this is the perfect place for me to go check it out and find one for myself. Now, almost every blank t-shirt company that was there, and they're all there, they offered some sort of vintage wash or faded wash t-shirt, pigment dyed or whatever it is. The company that I found that I'd never used before, and it was a surprise to me, and I took a little video, so I'll put the video here. This little video clip is what I sent to some of my clients, and it was from the Cotton Heritage booth. I want to say they're located somewhere here in Southern California too. I can't really remember, but those color offerings and the way those t-shirts felt, looked good, felt good, and I will be getting samples from them just so I could check it out and show my clients. Now, once again, I don't use these faded types of shirts, or I'm not looking for that colorway, or I'm not looking for that style. So I personally won't be using them for any of my brands, but I know a lot of my clients that I work with and I consult with are looking for something like that, and it probably would be a pretty good option. Once I got all of my actual work that I wanted to do done, and I got that done early on. Went to the bar, got a beer, and then I just cruised around. I wanted to check out some of the people. I wanted to say what's up to some people, and everybody I met walking around that show was cool as hell, man. So after I did my homework and I found out what booths I wanted to talk to and do research on, I went back to the front, and then I went down every single row and aisle to look at everything. I wanted to make sure I got my important stuff done first, and then I started to actually just cruise around. So one of the biggest booths that's right at the very beginning at the entrance is the Transfer Express and Stahls booth. Got a chance to go chop it up with Dave, go see exactly what they were doing, and they do a lot of live hands-on pressing right there. You could sample all of their ink formulas that they have to offer. You could get hands-on with it. They have a lot of their presses on there with a lot of the press attachments. One of the ones I seen him doing a demo on was the one that does the neck label and the front print at the same exact time, which was pretty cool. And people sampling Goof Proof and Ultra Color Max and all that good stuff. Once again, if you were looking for transfers and you wanted to find a new vendor or a new supplier to go with, this is the place where you could get all the sample packs you want so you could test it out at home. If not, you could do it in their booth live right there. But a lot of them offer sample packs for you to take home and really press it on yourself. Now, the next booth I went to go hit up was the Ricoma booth. They had a huge setup. Obviously, branding was on point because everything was orange, just like Ricoma, so it was easy to find. Got a chance to chop it up with them, check out some of their stuff. They had all the machines going. They had their heat presses there. They had the multi-head embroidery machines going. And they also had a DTF printer going there too. Now, there was a lot of people that I met at the show that also have Rakoma machines, and some of them were brand new to embroidery. Some of them were veterans in the embroidery space. And the cool thing about Rakoma was some people were like, hey, you know what? I'm having some tension issues, or you know what? I'm having some issues with this. They went straight to the Rakoma booth. Rakoma was able to help them out and troubleshoot some issues live right there for them, which in my opinion, this is the best place to do it because you have the techs there, you have the sales reps there, you have everybody that works for the company there in that booth willing to help you out. Now, I've seen a lot of people walking around with samples of puff vinyl on t-shirts. I knew exactly what booth those were coming from, so I went straight to the EconoTransfer booth. Met up with the homie James over there, got a good chance to chop it up with him, actually meet him in person. You guys see him in the videos. He's doing the EconoTransfer videos on their social media. It was a good chance for me to finally meet him in person, chop it up. Really good conversations. But the cool thing was watching everybody weed and press Econo Puff live right there at the show. And the first thing after that press lifts up and they peel the backing off is they pull the shirt and they look at it, and everybody just wants to touch how much that thing puffs up. Really dope to see and a really good customer experience. And inside of their booth, they had this big ass like 20X t-shirt hanging on the wall. And that's a really good crowd stopper because that stopped me. I seen that on this big ass hanger and I'm like, whoa, that's a big ass t-shirt. And it had vinyl pressed on it. Really dope to see. Now, one of the other booths I wanted to stop by and check out was the Supercolor booth. That was in the middle of the trade room. It was like the big room, and then they had like this atrium, like little middle part where it was kind of like all glass windows. And that was like the connection to the next room that had other stuff in it. So inside that atrium area, Supercolor was set up with ROQ. The one thing I really wanted to see was Supercolor brought out this crazy 4-station automatic carousel style heat press. Something I'm not used to seeing. So I wanted to see how it worked for one. And then I wanted to see how I can incorporate something like that in my shop. Like, is it really beneficial? Am I gonna get a lot more pressing done using that thing? Is it something I wanna get into in the future? So I went over there, checked it out. They released their new ink formula, which is like an easy release style formula. And they were letting people get on this automatic press and peel their transfers up, lay them down, do all the good stuff. Obviously, you guys know I use Supercolor. Got a chance to chop it up with all of them. See a lot of the people that do their social media. It's weird because you see these people through social media, but you don't see them in person. And maybe people feel the same exact way when they meet me. But for myself, it's like, man, I see James making videos for EconoTransfer. I see Dave making videos for Transfer Express. I see all the Supercolor videos. So it's kind of cool to see these people live in person. Get a good chance to chop it up with them, talk to them, engage in really good conversation, all around good experience. Now, my big takeaway from this show is the amount of transfer companies there, DTF printers being sold, and people walking around this trade show. Like I said, these trade shows are getting bigger and bigger every year, and there's so many people in this space that own heat presses. And to show that that's where this show is going towards is just a win for everybody that owns a heat press. DTF transfers, Plastisol transfers, heat transfer vinyl, sublimation, whatever you do, majority of us have a heat press, and we carved out a really good space in this industry for us. It's really dope to see. And like I said, it's a win for everybody that owns a heat press. But I gotta say, the top and best part of the show for myself was meeting the people, man. It was cool to slap hands and conversate with everybody that was willing to just chop it up with me, let me know their life story, let me know what they're doing, letting me know how my videos help them out. Because at the end of the day, that's what I do this thing for. And there was a ton of people that stopped, took pictures, hung out, had a beer with. I mean, we were hanging out. So I appreciate everybody. Good conversations with the homie from West King. Both the homies from Hello Westy were cool as hell. Before the show even started, I had a good conversation with the homie from Barqueros Embroidery, just on his journey, everything that he's doing and how he's getting a bunch of his business right now. My brother Josh from THC and his cousin showed up. The homie from Heights Garage. Like, I'm talking about all the conversations that I had and getting a chance to actually hear what everybody's working on, what they're doing, what their plans are for 2023 was crazy to me. And like always, the people I look forward to seeing out there is the homies Tom and Linda from G6 Customs. I've been coming to this show for a long time. When I first started talking about this show on YouTube, Tom and Linda was one of the ones. I gave away a free hat press, and this was just my hat press that I brought to the show. Nobody was sponsoring it, nothing like that. I came out, if you seen me, I gave you a raffle ticket, and then I gave away a hat press. Tom and Linda from G6 Customs won that hat press that year, and then I would hang out with them every year after that. We would drink beers, hang out, and then they won a big Mamaki sticker printer from, I think it was Printer Supply Warehouse, did a raffle at one of the shows. I was out there with Rye Beats and Stan, and there was a few other content creators there, but G6 Customs ended up winning this big Mamaki printer, and that catapulted their sticker printing business, which was really dope. Like I said, I seen the homie Rye Beats out there. I seen a video of him DJing out there. Got a good chance to chop it up with him as he was just cruising around the crowd. Really good dude, really dope active channel too. Obviously, you guys know Stan Banks was out there. He's at all these shows, and I got a good chance to really just connect with him, hang out for a bit. Got a chance to see him speaking at one of the panels. I never seen Stan speak before. I know he does it all over the world, but I've never got an actual chance to check it out. So he was sitting on one of the panels with the T-shirt buddy. So I got a chance to check them out, watch them live in action. And somebody else that I wanted to really connect with, and I got a good chance to talk to and finally slap hands with, is the homie A-Dub Productions. This is somebody in the embroidery journey that I had. I always look at his videos because he's very in depth with how he teaches, trains, and shows how to work these embroidery machines. Really good source for anything embroidery. The one that blew me away was when he was embroidering on the side of some Timberland boots. I seen that video, I'm like, yo man, this is crazy right here. But he was out there vibing, doing his thing too, so it's cool to see him and finally meet him. Very good conversations with the homie T-shirt buddy. Really solid dude, and his homies, I think it was Sticker Zombie and something else. The homies from the Bay Area, really cool cats, man. So like I said, it was overwhelming with the amount of information that's being shared here, right? Because I'm doing my own research, I'm looking for blanks, I'm looking at all these other vendors, I'm seeing what's new and what's coming out, and then it's meeting the people, which is really crazy, and then it's connecting with these social media friends, like the content creators that are in the same space as me, getting a chance to chop it up with them. Like I said, I didn't have no commitments there. I was just there to hang out with the people. I didn't have to be at any certain booths at any time. I was just out there for the people, vibing with the people. One of the cool things was I was in the SNS booth and I was checking out some stuff, and one of the photographers for the Impressions Expo got some shots of me looking at stuff, and then they posted on their social media. So I appreciate everybody that tagged me in that. So let's run up the numbers on that post. So if you guys can, go do me a favor and go to the Impressions Group Instagram page. Scroll down and then look for my dumbass face looking at some hats or something like that, and comment on that post. Tag me in the post and leave that little shirt emoji or write something in the comments to let them know we out here, man. All right, I know this was a very long video. If you made it this far in the video, please let me know in the comments if you will be attending the Impressions Expo in the future, if you're going to one in another state close to you, and if you wanted more information, Google search Impressions Expo and find out if there's one that's gonna be coming to you in your state, your city, wherever you're from across the country, all right? Follow me on Instagram, Big Brando TV. Catch you guys on the next one, man. Yeah.